Look it up.
No, Chris Christopherson?
No, that was her co-star in Star is Born. Anybody?
But he did sing it, right?
He might have. A lot of people sang it. Anybody? If you could read my mind.
Loretta Lynn?
Gordon, no.
Oh!
Gordon?
Did you just look it up, Carol?
No,
honest.
honest.
Yeah,
Gordon Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot. Very good. Good job.
I had that sound in my head, and I was like, Gordon or
Gordon Lightfoot. Gordon Lightfoot. Love that song. And you know what? There is a disco version of that song, and it's incredible. And it's like, you could read my mind. It's so disco dancey. It's really awesome. Love it. All right. Hello, friends. How are you?
Max.
Hello.
Good.
Oh, Kimberly, you're here.
I'm here.
You're here. Good. How are you feeling?
It hurts. I'm here. That's all that's important.
Okay, you're there. Okay, you're here with us. Okay, well, we'll say a prayer. We're going to do the little meditation. So we got Elaine, we got Carol, we got Lori. All right. And we got Yolanda. Yolanda, you just got here right on time. Right on time. Ignore my hair. It's a mess.
No, it's not. It looks good.
In real life, it looks like a wig. So, Lori knows about that.
Yep.
Like it can look good on camera, but in real life, you're like, ew, whoa, that's a haystack you got going there. I'm this close to doing the whole shave, which I have not done in probably 15 years. Completely the shave. And I'm telling you, when I do it, in the past, I've always like, oh, and I'm telling you, people are like, oh my God, you're the hottest. You're so hot. You're so hot.
You mean like just a buzz cut? You don't mean a baldy, right?
No, not bald, but buzz. Just cut all this off.
Yeah. Okay.
Cut all this off and make it. I mean, this is all white. You know, this is all white. So, who knows?
Sorry.
Anyway, it's one of those.
Reminds me of a song, "Don't Try Suicide." Nobody's worth it.
In excess. Is that in excess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think it's in excess. All right, everybody. Good to see you. We're gonna sit for 5 minutes before we start today. So, I want to use a different sound. Let's use a different sound. Let's use this one. Let's see what's that. That's good. We'll use that one. All right. Take a big deep breath.
Did it.
Find yourself in a really comfortable position. Turning off all distractions. Not looking at your phone. Turning inside. Here we go. I'm just taking this next 5 minutes to stop, to focus, to bring ourselves back to our truth. Just following your breath and letting go. Take a few deep breaths. Slowly start to come back to the room. Okay. All right. Happy Friday, friends. I have a question for you that we're all going to answer. Are you ready? Ready? Are you ready? Okay, here's your question. Everyone's going to answer it. What has the Holy Spirit told you today? Who wants to go first?
I will.
Lori, great.
To trust and believe and always know that God has my back, which is my famous line, but also for other people that I've been praying for who are in difficult situations. It's so hard. We were talking, I know we talked about control, and it's like, you know, I want to be able to do more and I can't. And the acceptance of that is eased by knowing that it's all going to be taken care of by God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I love it. That's nice. That is nice. Thank you, Lori. Good job.
Thank you.
Who's next? What's the Holy Spirit telling someone else?
Well, Max,
Elaine?
yes. Today was the first day since March 18th that I put on real clothes other than Lysol stained sweats. And as I was getting dressed, I started humming to myself that song we used to sing in church, Be Not Afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the sense that the Holy Spirit was telling me, you're doing the right thing. Be not afraid. And after this session, my partner and I are going to take our first walk. So
Beautiful. Very good. Congratulations. I love it. See, it comes in a million ways. Beautiful, Elaine.
Can I
Lori?
say something?
Yeah, Lori, go ahead.
Elaine, I was singing that song this morning walking my dog. Be not afraid. I love that
Oh my
song.
God, I love it. How perfect. Law of attraction, right?
Yeah.
I
And that's
love
a
it.
beautiful song. It really is.
It is. It is. Very good. I love it. Let's see. Kimberly, Carol, or Yolanda?
Excuse me.
I'll go. You know, I'm laying on ice. So the Spirit said, this too shall pass. I was a little klutzy and fell down the stairs.
Oh,
It's like,
feel
it's
better.
okay. Okay. This too shall pass.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Anything else, Kimberly? How's it
Be
well?
brave, be strong.
Awesome. You are strong. Very good. Thank you, Kimberly. Carol?
Well, just before class, I've been doing the oracle cards because I just love them. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I got happy.
Nice. Very
So
good.
just remind myself to stay in the present moment and be
Beautiful.
happy.
Listen, sometimes, the cards are just a tool, for spirit to
Right,
talk to us.
right.
So beautiful. It's perfect. Show us the card. It's a beautiful card.
Oh, it is.
Can y'all see that?
Love
You have
it.
to talk. So the
Oh,
picture.
okay.
So talk, Carol. Talk.
Happy.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, those are great cards. Great,
I
Carol. I
can,
love it.
I can
Very
get a
good.
copy of it and put it in the, if you want it.
Oh yeah, take a picture and put it in the group. I love
Thank
those.
you.
Those are great cards.
You're
If you haven't
welcome.
have them, one of my favorite cards, right? Love those.
Wisdom of the Oracle.
The wisdom of the Oracle cards. Yolanda, what about you? How's the Holy Spirit saying to you?
I think, sorry about my bad hair day. I actually fell asleep this morning. After I woke up, I went back to sleep and I just got up for class. You said show up no matter what we look like. So
We
here I am.
don't care. It's all fine.
And I think part of this is from what you said to me in the Monday May was, it's okay to think about it because I am used to living. I have not realized how much I've lived in fear and doubt, and man, just it ran my life forever. So it's okay to think about whatever it is that I'm thinking about, but then let it go because it's okay. It's all okay. So that helped me feel a lot better.
Good. I love it. Very good. Because you go from the impossible to the ultimate possibility. You go from this is impossible, this is hard, this is whatever. If you're not in Money May, some of you aren't. We're talking. We started Whole Money May about this whole idea about what's possible, what's impossible, and so when we have these issues or whatever, we think that's only possible, and you're like, no, you got to let that go because because anything is possible. Beautiful. I love it, Alanda. All right, everyone, give yourself a round of applause. Yay! Remember, the Holy Spirit, Source, God, whatever. It's not the same, but from of course Miracle's point of view. But we're getting guidance all the time, right, everyone? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Always getting guidance. And actually, sounds like a promo. Polly and I, our new podcast is all about is coronavirus humanity's biggest spirit guide. So listen to that if you haven't been listening. So all right, so we're going to continue. We haven't finished the distortion of miracle principles. Am I right? Are we on 16? That's where I have.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Am I right? We only have 2 more paragraphs.
Yeah.
We'll probably start to get into the second, the chapter 2, but we'll finish this today. Let me do a short recap and then we'll continue reading. All right, everyone? So let's all take a big deep breath. Okay. Distortions of miracle impulses. I'm just going to read some of these highlights. Your distorted perceptions produce a dense cover over miracle impulses, making it hard for them to reach your own awareness. So everything's about perception. Everything's about what?
Perception.
Perception. I'm taking this really great course right now with Carolyn Meese right now, and it's so interesting. It's like everything comes back to perception. Everything comes back to what you're perceiving, how you're perceiving it, what meaning you're giving to anything. She's not talking about it like that, but that's it. So everything, our perceptions are the thing that covers up the possibility of a miracle. Just like I said earlier, Yolanda, this idea about looking at it as impossible to anything's possible. You just never know. Good. So there's a miracle impulse going on. That's meaning that that God, Source, Holy Spirit's always going yes, 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 and we're like, no, I have too much. It's too hard. Say yes if you could relate.
Yes, I can very
Yes.
much right now.
Right. And I'm telling you, you know what? No time for that. There is no time. And if you're not getting it from the freaking coronavirus, there is no time to waste your fucking life in whining about your fucking situation. Oh, I don't want it. It's just too hard. Shut up. Because it's just your ego trying to keep you from the miracle coming through. That's all it's doing. I had a session, and I'm just going off for just a second, a session with one of my clients this week. And I was like, how the fuck long are you going to play the violin? And she was like, I know. I'm like, I don't care if you know, but here's the fact. As long as you keep your perceptions in that place of I am the recipient of this thing, and I have this label, and I have this label, and I have this label, guess what? The miracle impulse is just going to be like, boom, never coming through, never coming through, never coming through. But it's always trying. It's always trying. So why don't you just make it an easy job and go, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Just let it come through. Take a deep breath. Could be with a relationship, could be with your physical health, could be your mental health, could be anything, right? All those excuses, right? So let's keep going. I'll go down to number 2, which is one of my favorite lines in the whole course. Child of God, you were created to create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. Do not forget this. You were not created to create whiny. You were not created to create suffering. You were not created to complain about your situation. Because your situation is giving you every single opportunity for you to expand and rise and grow and unite all your brothers and sisters, right? Or you can complain. Or you can complain. All right, let's go down to number 3. Number 3, 3.3. Actions that stem from distortions are literally the reactions of those who know not what they want. So when you're in that place and you take actions based on, I think I want, it's because you don't really know what you want. You don't really know what you want. And so you're like, oh, I think it's going to be having this successful business. Nothing's wrong with that. I think it's having the successful or the love of someone, or it's having this, or it's having this. It's because you don't really know. You take actions in that direction because you don't really know what you want. You don't really know what you want. And that's what he's saying here. Number 5 in that paragraph, twist reality in a way and you're perceiving destructively. So reality is completely truth. It's the truth. But you go, well, maybe if it was just kind of like this. Kind of like, so it works for me. One of the things I'm really working with, learning a lot more about with Carolyn Mace is about the universal laws and God's laws and spiritual laws. And it's like what we try to do is we try to take the basic law, say it's karma, and we go and we say this. We go, well, don't step on the crack because you'll break your mother's back. We twist it. Do you get it? So we take the law of karma, which means every action has a reaction, and then we twist it around into a superstition. I know I'm going a different direction, but this is kind of what it's talking about. We twist it around into a superstition that says, if I don't have the crystal, then I can't connect with God. If I walk under a ladder, then I'm going to have whatever that thing is. If I see a black cat.
Old wives' tales.
Yeah, like superstitions, but
Yeah.
superstitions run deep, really deep. So, that comes back to twisting reality in a way that we perceive it kind of destructively because we don't really trust the law of God. I don't really trust it, right? Let's move on. Number 6 in that that paragraph is it. You believe in what you make. That's a tattooer mic dropper. You believe in what you make. If you make joy, if you make compassion, if you make love, if you make a beautiful space, you believe in that. If you make resistance and you make competition and you make I'm better than you, you're going to believe that that's what's real. That's it. It's as simple as that. I said something on Facebook last night because I was like, oh my God. I went on Facebook. I don't really go on Facebook, only for private classes and just whatever. I was like, oh my God, it's just amazing. If you want to live on lower, really the lowest common denominator of human consciousness. You just have to go and watch that and look at that. Because it's all about, I'm better. No, you're better. I'm better. You're better. No, my way is right. You should meditate. No, you should be a Trumper. No, you shouldn't be a Trumper. No, you should be this. It's like, oh my God, don't do it, my friends. Do not do it, and don't participate in it. Really take a Facebook break, or just go to the private groups, or just go to various, because it's just like, don't participate in it, because it's only keeping this whole thing of, you're going to make what you believe in, and you're being completely brainwashed. Literally, you're being brainwashed.
Yes.
It's important. It's really important, especially because we work with the mind, and what the mind does here with what we do. And the mind is really susceptible if it's taken over by the what? The ego.
Ego.
Because as soon as you find evidence that I'm better than you, it will go, oh yeah, those people over there that are complaining about the mask, they're horrible and they're awful. And you go, well, it makes me feel good because I know I should wear a mask. I'm much better than them. Shut up. You are not any better. You know what I'm saying? So this is like, you create what you believe in, what you make. So the strength of your conviction will then sustain the belief in the miracle receiver. So this is the whole thing about what we talked about. If you believe in, if you completely are convinced that there is ultimate possibility, that there is love, there is healing, and it doesn't matter what your situation is, then the person that you're praying for, praying with, hanging out with, they will begin to believe it too. They will go, oh yeah, maybe I'm not so bad. That's important, right? Okay. All right. The last part. As long as a single slave remains to walk the earth, your release is not complete. Complete restoration of the sonship is the only goal of the miracle-minded. Now, it was very interesting. I'm gonna say this, then we'll start to read. Complete restoration of the sonship is the only goal of the miracle-minded, right? Remember, what's the sonship?
We all are one.
That we're all one, right? So it's kind of like, the Starship Enterprise. It's the ship. And everyone in the ship is the only living beings in the universe. Just one thing, right? So when he says here, complete restoration of the sonship is the only goal of the miracle-minded, remember, the sonship means there's only
One of us here.
There's only one of us here. So it kind of makes it easy. Your ego can be like, oh my God, I have to change everybody. I have to convince everyone. It's got to be like that. And then finally it's all gonna, and then Jesus is gonna come down from the heavens and fly down with wings and we're all gonna be saved. That is not what we're talking about. Because if you understand and you get that there's only one of us here, Elaine is no different than a woman and her child in Israel. I am no different than a man that's in the middle of the Amazon. We are all connected. It all breathes as one, right? And if you really get that, it says that if complete restoration of the sonship, if there's only one of us here, we just have to work on what?
Ourselves.
Ourselves. That's it. Because they're going to get it. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter if it happens or not. It only matters if what?
I get it. We get it. What
We
the one
get it.
you? Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So a distortion of a miracle impulse would be like, I got to go save everybody.
You clarified that.
What'd you say, Yolanda?
I'm glad you clarified that because I'm
Yeah.
like, do we got to go out and like
Yeah.
change the world and somehow?
As long as a single slave remains to walk the earth, your release is not complete. Yes. But you
Okay.
can't go around. I mean, you can, and that's called proselytizing religions. And they keep telling you that you're wrong and you have to change. Do you see the complete hypocrisy in that, everyone?
Mhm.
It's like,
Mhm.
well, that is doing the exact same thing that's keeping the separation alive.
Okay.
Right? So just work on your own stuff and everything will follow from there.
Right.
It will.
Okay. Good.
Totally. Good. All right, take a big deep breath. Turn over the page and let's start on, let's see. Oh, no, that's not, is it? Wait. Oh, yeah. 4 and 4. Very good. So the top of the page is 4. Very good. Okay. Who would like to read 4 for us?
I will.
Yolanda, great. Thank you.
Okay, this is a course in mind training. All learning involves attention and study at some level. Some of the latter parts of the course rest too heavily on these earlier sections not to require their careful study. Yeah, some of the later parts of the course rest too heavly on these earlier sections not to require their careful study.
And
You will
remember, we're in chapter 1. So it's really important that we get what he's giving. And, you know, just as a aside, you know, Helen Schuckman, who is the scribe, you know, she mentioned a couple of times that the first like 3 to 4 chapters were a very different experience as they were coming through than the rest of it. It was more labored, it was more very specific and everything. And she said that I'm totally ad-libbing here myself, but she said basically that after, like, I think it was the 3rd or 4th chapter, it really became a flow. It just started because she says that because of this line, because it has to be very, the foundation has to be really strong.
Mhm.
Right? Okay, so keep reading.
you will also need them for preparation. Without this, you may become much too fearful of what is to come to make constructive use of it. However, as you study these earlier sections, you will begin to see some of the implications that will be amplified later on.
Great. Okay. It's pretty straightforward, right?
It's like algebra. If you don't know how to add, divide, and multiply, you'll never get it further on down the road.
That's right. It's like anything. You have to know the basics. It's like, you know, I'm doing singing lessons now again, and it's really fun. But it's really starting back, you know, basic, really great stuff. And then you got to have that. You got to know what it is to relax, what it is to breathe, what's happening inside there, you know, because otherwise you're going to try to do an aria and you're going to be like, yeah, right. Good luck. That's why some of the lessons in here, especially the lessons in the course, they really do build on each other. They really do. And so the concepts in the text are the same.
Sure. Okay.
Good. All right. Anyone want to say anything about that before we go on to number 5? It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, who's going to read 5?
I'll be
I
happy to
will.
do it.
Wait. Oh, I think I heard Kimberly first, Carol.
That's fine. That's
You
fine.
can read next. We're going to keep going. So Kimberly, you want to read number 5?
Okay.
Okay, great.
A solid foundation is necessary because of the confusion between fear and awe, to which I have already referred, and which is often made. I have said that awe is inappropriate in connection with the sons of God, because you should not experience awe in the presence of your equals. However, it was also emphasized that awe is proper in the presence of your Creator. I have been careful to clarify my role in the atonement without either over or understanding it.
Understating it.
Understating, thank you. Understating it. I am also trying to do the same with yours. I have stressed that awe is not an appropriate reaction to me because of our inherent equality. Some of the later steps in this course, however, involve a more direct approach to God Himself. It would be unwise to start on these steps without careful preparation, or awe will be confused with fear, and the experience will be more traumatic than
Beatific.
beatific. That's a new word for me. Healing is of God in the end. The means are being carefully explained to you. Revelation may occasionally reveal the end to you, but to reach it, the means are needed.
Okay. So Kimberly, anything that out of that's standing out for you? I got a couple things.
The biggest thing is that there's a difference between awe and fearing God. Fear kind of creates a separation and not a trust.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas awe, you're in gratitude, like a spirit of gratitude and appreciation,
Mm-hmm.
which brings equality.
Right. Where does Jesus come into that?
The atonement.
Is Jesus to be looked at with awe?
No.
No. All right. Read sentence 6.
I have stressed that awe is not an appropriate reaction to me because of our inherited equality.
Right. This is so big, I can't even tell you. You know, we've talked about it before because obviously he's referred to, you know, awe. You're in awe of the Creator.
Mm.
That's the place where you're just thrown to your knees, right? You're not in awe of Jesus. Whereas, you know, this is where traditional religion and the Course is very different.
Yeah.
Because traditional religion puts Jesus up there.
Mhm.
Up there. And we're like, you know what? He's just one of us. He's just stepped forward in time and healed his relationship with God, and he has no more ego. That's it. Or he might have even some ego, but he knows what to do with it. You know? And that's very different. This one thing that we're talking about right here, and all you have to do, and I actually would encourage you to do it. It's very interesting. Go search the internet for people that that criticize the Course in Miracles.
Oh, I found one. Oh, she really ripped it apart.
It's 99%. It's hardcore fundamentalist Christian. 99%. Some of it is atheism, for sure. But a lot of it is, how dare that they are representing Jesus as one of us, and da-da-da-da-da, and Jesus is the king, and Jesus is Lord, and Jesus is God. And you're like, well, that's not what we see. And this is not what Jesus is telling us here. But it's very interesting. It's not that, and come back again, we have to be really careful. They're not wrong and we're not right. All perception, all perception, all perception.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is peace. The goal is love. Whatever is conducive to peace and to love, that's the path. That's the path. But whatever is separating and competition and my religion better than yours, that is like what I wrote on Facebook. That is what mankind has been doing thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Right?
Yeah, I've always been it's like, how can you have a war over religion? For crying out loud, everybody is talking about God, and how can you fight about that? And yet that's one of the major issues between countries sometimes, you know, and individuals. People do horrible, hateful things to someone else because of their religious belief, you know, as long as it's not saying to go out and kill someone. But
some religions do.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've
heard
that.
You know, more people have died because of religious wars over the centuries. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of millions, billions probably. More than are even in our, you know, our lexicon of what we know as history. You know, our God of the tree is the right God, and your God of the flower is not the right God.
Mm-hmm.
That has been going on forever. Now we just have a lot more billions and trillions of dollars to spend on the war to make sure. Listen, look at Israel and Palestine.
Forever, yeah.
Look at it. I mean, so it's really important that we see that if what we're doing in this work is about literally stopping the pattern, it's very much like when you're in a dysfunctional family and everyone's been an alcoholic and they've been raging or whatever, and you might be the one that says, I'm not doing that. and says, I won't do that. I will not fall into that pattern. I will not do that. I'm going to have a different life than everything I've seen before. I know that there's a possibility, Yolanda, of something much more. So I'm going to do that instead. That's what we are doing when we work this spiritual path. This isn't fundamentalism at all. It's the opposite of fundamentalism. Because fundamentalism is in every religion, and fundamentalism, the more fear there is, everyone, the more people get fundamentalist. Because they're fearful of the unknown. They want to go right back to women should only do this, and men should only do this. Don't be a feminist, and gays should be this. And they go right back to a real fundamentalist thing unconsciously, because their ego goes, no, it's too scary to have no rules and have only the rule of what? God. They're very fearful of that. Really important. Yeah. Sorry, anything else about this section that stood out for anybody on number 5? No? Okay. You know, that number 8, it would be unwise to start on these steps without careful preparation, or awe will be confused with fear, and the experience will be more traumatic than beatific. That is very much like what his advice at the beginning of the doing the lessons. Don't be going to 75 when you haven't even done 1 through 5. Because when you get to 75, it's going to be like, oh, this is too much. But if you do it step by step, what? Oh, I gotta find it. What am I gonna show you right now?
The turtle.
That's right. If you do the turtle theory, then you'll be like, oh, So when you get to 75, you'll be like, of course, this totally makes sense. But if you didn't do 74 before, you're gonna be like, that's too much. But if you do step by step by step, then you know what? When you get to 75, it's absolutely beautiful. Beatific, it means the experience of beauty, right? So beatific, it brings you to the next level of beauty, of grace, of love, right? Otherwise, it's going to be traumatic, and you'll be like, fuck this shit. It doesn't make any sense. All these people talking about love, fuck them. It's true. I mean, it's true, because you try to talk to people, or you try to relate what we are doing here, and they're like, oh, poor thing, you're so stupid. You're so naive. And you're like, well, they're not going to get it, so it doesn't matter. Who cares? Get it? Important.
Got it.
So what you're doing is, and what we're doing too, is we're doing this sequentially, little by little by little. Yeah. Okay. Any comments or questions? What did you say, Carol?
Oh, like Alex had said, peeling an onion.
Yeah. It's like you're
Peeling back
removing
layers.
all these little things so that you can see clear and clear and clear and clear, right? Little by little. But you know what's really great about that? And I'll just screw with your mind for 1 second. There is no time, so you don't even have to peel it, so it doesn't matter. You can just be in it right now. You could just be like, I'm completely perfect with God in this moment. It's all good. Right? But time is a teacher, and time is a teaching tool. So while we're perceiving time, why not use it to help us to advance along the path? Yeah. Take a deep breath. Okay, good. All right, let's move to, we'll start chapter 2 today, and we'll see how far we get. Oh, not very long. So the first part of chapter 2, the separation and the atonement. This is where we're really, I mean, he just said, this is what you have to do. You got to get the basics. Now we're going to get real basic. We're going to get real basic into what the separation is, right? And what the atonement is, okay? So the origins of separation is the first section. We'll probably, who knows what we'll do. Who would like to start reading that? Who hasn't read?
I'll read it.
Lori, great, thank you.
Okay. To extend is a fundamental aspect of God, which he gave to his son. In the creation, God extended himself to his creations and imbued them with the same loving will to create.
I love that.
You have not only been fully created, but have also been created perfect. There is no emptiness in you. Because of your likeness to your creator, you are creative. No child of God can lose this ability because it is inherent in what he is, but he can use it inappropriately by projecting. The inappropriate use of extension or projection occurs when you believe that some emptiness or lack exists in you and that you can fill it with your own ideas instead of truth. This process involves the following steps.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay. All right, good. Lori, what's standing out for you in that section? Some really good ones.
The first thing I highlighted was there is no emptiness in you. It's just relating back to like you're the perfect creation of God, just as he is.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, projecting the ego, we forget that. And we place other things there to take the place of that and to convince ourselves that's what's going to get us back to that, you know, place of perfection and fullness and wholeness.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And there's nowhere to get back to.
Correct.
As if we think that there's somewhere to get back to, we're already screwed.
Very true, very true.
Because there is no emptiness in you. That is a really, really beautiful. And, you know, in, I don't know if we talked about in this class too, but I will say this, almost a really, really super valuable way to read the course is to read it in the first person.
Yep.
Yeah, you said that.
We've said that before, right? There
Yeah,
is no emptiness in me. That's an affirmation, right? Affirmation of the truth. Anything else about any? I have got a couple things to say, but any of these that jumped out for anybody else, we'll read that next part. But there are a couple of basics I want to go over. Speaking of foundational basics here.
Well, just in the beginning, to extend is a fundamental aspect of God, which he gave to his son. God extended himself and imbued them. That I'm a little lost in catching that meaning, that to extend, what do you mean? Like to give, to what? Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, it's all good. It's all good. So you there's two things. I'm glad that you pointed that out because this is really foundational. There's two things that we're doing all the time, one or the other. You're either extending from God or you're projecting from the ego.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Extension, projection. Remember, see that projection right there, everyone? So you're projecting. So you're either projecting your own stuff or you're extending from God. Those are the only two things you can ever do in this world.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Yeah, and then now that you understand that, to extend is a fundamental aspect of God in which he gave to his son. So how much you're extending from that place is up to you. But you have the ability to literally be like Jesus, like Mother Teresa, like you can do that. That is our God, literally our God-given ability. But a lot of times people are like, I don't got time for that. I got to go make money. Right?
So can I ask you, when it says he imbued them with the same loving will to create, somehow when I think of create, I think about creating more human beings. But they mean create in the ability, and in what you're just talking. Go ahead, Max.
No, it's okay. No,
You know
it's
where
okay.
I'm feeling a
Yes,
little.
yes. First of all, I don't know if it says it in your book, but is there an interesting thing of how the word will is written there?
Capital.
Capital. Oh yes, capital.
So he's been imbued us with this will, which is God's will, to create. So what does God create?
Love.
love.
Oh, I see. I was seeing that wrong. I was seeing God create because there's Adam and Eve, and then you have all these little humans running around, and I was
Uh-huh.
thinking reproduction. Sorry. Thank you.
No, it's okay. So we're either creating, remember you are
Okay.
projecting, right? Or what's
Right.
the other one? You're extending. You're either
Okay.
projecting or you're extending. You're projecting from the ego or you're extending from God. Now, you're either making from the ego or you are creating with God.
Okay.
That's a
Thank
really big difference.
Yeah. Thank you. That
So we
really.
have automatically this will to love. We have automatically this will of compassion. You have automatically this will to uplift, and it's not, and you don't look at it like it's my job. It's just a normal thing. It's just kind of like, well, here's something. If anyone has anyone ever taken Reiki classes before or done Reiki?
I'm thinking about.
Okay. So it's interesting in Reiki, one of the things that they teach you is that you automatically have this ability to heal yourself or to heal others.
Right.
Because what do you do when your child is hurt? You go and put your hand on the place. You kiss the place. You automatically do that. And so what this is saying is the same thing. We automatically have this will to have compassion, to have love, to all of that stuff. Right? And that is the co-creation with God. That's the co-creation. Or you're just making shit that doesn't mean anything. You're either making shit that doesn't mean. Okay, I have to show you something. You want to laugh really quickly?
Sure.
You want to see something horrible? Like it's like the most horrible thing you've ever seen in your life, craft-wise. It's so horrible. And I'm like, I have to keep going because it's so bad. And I thought, oh my God, this is my ego making shit. Because I had this idea that I was like, I'm going to make this thing. I'm going to make this thing for my room, and it's going to be really cool. And like 5 minutes into making it, I was like, this is horrible. Okay, I'll have to show it to you. You know, I'm redoing my room. My room's all pink and gray, right? And it's actually, lots of things are coming out little by little, coming out great. But I had this star mirror. My room used to be all burgundies and golds and browns, and it was like Arabian Nights. It was really, so I'm going completely different. But I had this sun mirror, and it was all gold. I was like, what can I do with that mirror? I could throw it away. But I was like, let me see. Okay, wait. It's not done yet, but it's really horrible.
You paint it pink.
Okay, when I show it to you, it's actually it's not even finished yet because I haven't put the gray in it yet. Okay, just get ready for a big laugh. Like it, and listen, don't say, "Oh, that's okay." It's awful. Look. Oh. No, you can't see it in there. Oh, it's pink and white and gray, and I'm telling you, in real life. Oh my God. Okay. Cam on the camera, in real life, it looks like a Pepto-Bismol ad that looks like a piece of shit.
I guess us girls don't think it's that bad.
No, I'm telling you, in real life, what did I just say about my hair? In real life, this is hay. But I'm telling you, but I was thinking, my whole point was, I was like, look at my ego trying to make this thing work. I was like, no. My ego and my Virgo are very connected, and they're like, no. But I'm gonna finish it, and I'm gonna see what it looks like. But anyway, my point being is that the ego keeps going, make the business. This is a big one. Make your business work. Kind of make your business work. Make your business, and inside you're like, oh, this is not right. This isn't right. But if you keep pushing and you keep pushing on the hill, then, I'm just going to use his name. But Tony Robbins says that ultimately you're going to be a 50 billionaire. So I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work. So a lot of times we're making a whole bunch of shit, but to create means that you go, oh my God, I think I'm going to do this thing, and I don't even know why, but I'm just going to do it. That could be going for a walk. That could be making a business of something you had no idea, but you're co-creating, you're creating. It's becoming from a completely different place than making. That make sense?
Yes, thank you for that.
And I'll take a real picture of that and you'll be like, yeah, that does look like shit. So everyone, what's really good about today's lesson is that we're really establishing a lot of those basics. You're either making with the ego or you're creating with God. You're either projecting from the ego or you're what with God?
Creating.
Extending.
Oh, extending. Yeah.
Right. Those are 4 very basic things that we need to know. And when you know that in yourself, you go, wow, I'm making shit. But then you also go, oh my God, I don't know why, but I'm co-creating. It just feels like this is and that's when you go, I'm in the flow. And you don't care if it makes money. You don't care if it looks pretty or not. I mean, listen, ultimately, I could be co-creating with God to make that piece of doo-doo. But, but you have a reference point. Do you get it, everyone?
Yes.
Remember, this is about your real life. This isn't about having an idea or a philosophy. This is about what you're doing every day. Think about how you treat your fellow man, your family members, or whatever. 1 minute you'll be like, I'm extending from God to my lover. And the next minute you're like, I am projecting all my anger on you. Right? So it's good. This is really good. Okay. All right, let's anything else in that section we want to talk about, because we're going to read the process, because the process here is it's 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to read that for sure. So anyone want to say anything before we read that? Because this is going
to that. Yeah. This whole
Yolanda?
I said thanks for clarifying that. That really helped me move more forward there.
Good. Great. Let's read it'll be 8 through 12. Now this is what's so great. He gives us this like, this is what you do now. Okay. Here are the things you're going to do. Right? Anyone want to read those?
I will, Max.
Great, Elaine.
Okay. This process involves the following steps. First, you believe that what God created can be changed by your own mind. Second, you believe that what is perfect can be rendered imperfect or lacking. Third, you believe that you can distort the creations of God, including yourself. And fourth, you believe that you can create yourself and that the direction of your own creation is up to you.
Good. Now remember, the inappropriate use of extension and projection occurs when you believe that some emptiness or lack is in you and that you fill it with your own ideas instead of the truth. That's what that explains. He just told us how you do it. Right? So when you decide, when you believe that there is a lack in you, that there's something wrong, this is what you do. Let's break it down. Read the first one again. These don't come, they don't always come in that order, but read the first one, Elaine.
First, you believe that what God created can be changed by your own mind.
What does that mean?
Is that like when we think bad of humanity and others? Because God created that, but we're passing judgment on other people or even ourselves.
Could be. Could be. Anything else? What about the opposite too? About yourself. So, first you believe what God created. Who did God create?
Created me.
Me,
Everybody.
you. Yeah, created everything. Can be changed by your own mind. So you can be like, wow, I'm a big piece of shit. I'm fat, so that means I'm not worthy. You believe that you are really not worthy because what do they say? God didn't create no junk.
Right. I used to hear that a long time ago. Yeah. Okay.
You get it?
That's a connection. Okay.
So that connection means that we have decided that God created junk. and that we can change what God created.
Okay.
No, you can't. No, you
So
can't.
that's in the not loving yourself, not
Mhm.
loving others, not loving, because all of God's creations are deserving of love and are made of love. Is that it?
And they can't be changed. It's like saying, I'm going to change the law of gravity. You can't change it. Sorry, you can't change the law of gravity. You can't change that there is, there's a solar system. It was created. You can't be like, I'm just going to pretend that Saturn's not there. Well, you can.
Okay.
Well, listen, what do they say? The flat earth people, they're like, I'm going to pretend that the world is flat. The world's flat. The world's flat. I'm going to find all the evidence to make sure the world's flat. Right? That's what that's talking about, right?
Conspiracy theorists.
What did you say, Elaine?
Or the
Conspiracy theorist. But everything is going to, I mean, they could look at us and say we have a conspiracy theory going on. So, Kimberly, are you there?
Yeah.
Your frozen picture is so funny. Oh, you're back. It was like this. It froze at this time where your face was like this. It was so good. It was so good. I love that. Okay, let's read the
I was
number
trying to clear an
No,
overlay over my phone.
It's all good. Elaine, can you read the second one?
Second, you believe that what is perfect can be rendered imperfect or lacking.
That relates to kind of what the first one was, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right? You can be like, well, you know what? There are politicians. Let's just use it. It's easiest. There are politicians that were created by God, but we're like, oh no, they're really horrible. Because we're looking at what? We're looking at the made part of the ego, not at the created part by God.
Yes.
Hmm.
No.
You can observe the made part of the ego, just like you observe. I mean, it's a little bit different, but you observe like me having this hair and wearing this and looking this way, whatever. But that's not who I really am. I'm something else. I'm far more beautiful than that. I'm just kidding you. Well, I'm a perfect child of God, right? And so
Yeah.
are all of you. We present something because we believe we can alter, we can do better than what God did.
I think I get it.
Yeah, you got it? Okay, let's read number 3. What's the third one, Elaine?
Third, you believe that you can distort the creations of God, including yourself.
What does that mean? Give me an example, anybody. There's a couple really good ones, though.
I'm good if I do blank. I'm bad if I do blank.
Yeah, judging yourself
Mhm.
on what you, on your accomplishments or whatever. Yep, that's one thing. What else?
You can distort the creation.
I'll give you a hint. What about the environment? Didn't God create the environment?
Yeah.
What does man try to do with the environment?
Destroy it. No.
Control it.
Control it. Okay. Oh, yeah.
It tries to control it. Man tries to control
Right.
the environment,
Right.
right?
That's actually on our voting thing because they do all that weather modification, throwing metals in the air to make the weather a certain way. And their excuses, stop hail and whatever. So nature for the last, I don't know how many years now up here, and I see it in pictures that people post from other states. But yeah, they want to control.
Yeah.
And they dam rivers and they go on and do all kinds of controlling.
Right. Man used to live with nature and live in harmony with nature and be like, okay, so it's hail and this is this. And that's where we get you know, the god of hail and the god of snow and the god of summer and the god of power. But because it was working with nature. But then the ego got involved. And the
Mhm.
ego said, I can control nature.
Mm.
Well, that's not led to very good things
No.
at all. At all.
Like-
ultimately, there will be this time also is showing this finding a natural stasis again, right? So, but we do the same thing with ourself. I'm not good enough. I got to be better. They're not good enough. They have to be better. Or they're bad. They have to be worse.
Yep.
We believe we can distort the creation of God. Let's use our political friend again. And we keep going, you're just a horrible.
It's like in that
Ah,
Christmas show, The Year Without a Santa Claus, Snow Miser.
Oh, yeah.
Please,
Is that
Mr. Snow Miser.
Rudolph? Yeah.
Mr. Snow.
Uh-huh.
The Year Without a Santa Claus, I think it is, because
Oh.
it had the Snow Miser and the Sun Miser. They were brothers.
I think I remember that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to control nature.
Right, so that they could have snow in the south.
Mm-hmm. Right.
yeah.
It goes
I
deep.
just- yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because that is the same thing about trying to control what is uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
If you
But-
give up your, it's like if you give up your need to keep it hot in the south, then we won't have Christmas, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so and I could just hear the whole thing going, you know.
I remember it now. It was like the spin-off of Rudolph.
Right.
Right? It was like the
Mr. Snow
part 2.
Miser.
Yes, the snow miser thing. I remember now. Yeah, and it was all about controlling the weather.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the same thing with ourselves and others. We try to control. That's C word. I'm not talking about see you next Tuesday. Ba-dum-bum. The C word, control. Let's go to Elaine, read the 4th one.
4, you believe that you can create yourself and that the direction of your own creation is up to you.
Yeah. That's an inappropriate use of extension or well, actually projection. Mm-hmm. So how does that fit in with the idea of, so you believe that you can create yourself in the direction of your own creation, up to you. How does that fit into the idea of manifest destiny? You know what manifest destiny is, everyone? Do you know what manifest destiny is? Yes or no? You can say no if you don't know.
I can't
Future.
remember.
I think well, my first thought is that it's like law of attraction.
It's very close. It's very related to the law of attraction.
I feel like I'm guilty of all 4 of these,
Sorry.
especially,
God
especially,
bless you.
Bless you.
especially the 4th one, because rather than place my trust in God, the control that comes up in my ego, especially pertaining to fear, takes hold, and then it stops me from having my faith and trust in God and in all of the goodness that I am. Actually, all of these 4 things, I've been feeling very bad about myself because it's the first time I have been so stuck in not having, like I've lost faith and just was giving in. But, you know, it's kind of explaining itself to me that it's what the ego will do.
That's right. That's right. Good, Elaine. This is why we do the work. This is why we read this, because it makes you go, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been doing. I've been trying to control. I'm trying to recreate myself. I've been trying to believe that there's something lacking, and so I want to fix it, right? On some level. And that fourth one, when you think about it, I know Yolanda has done a lot of law of attraction stuff. A lot of us have, and law of attraction stuff. This is why law of attraction stuff doesn't really work until you do this. Sorry, is that it's constantly going, well, what do you want? 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 Right, everyone?
Mhm.
I want the Porsche. I want the husband. I want the beautiful guy. I want the hot body. I want this. I want this. I want this. I want this. How does that fit into you believe you can create yourself and that the direction of your own creation is up to you?
Because you're not satisfied with things just as they are, and part of this is knowing that things are as they should be.
That's right. The first step is to accept who you are and what you are. But if you really accept who you are and what you are, you get that, and you suddenly then get, oh my God, I am the most powerful creative force in the universe because I'm connected with God. That's it. But instead you're like, oh, I need to not be fat. I need to not be poor. I need to not have the Toyota. I got to have the Porsche. I need to not. So I need to have this. But when you really accept, the first step is accepting where you are. It's like all great psychology. You have to accept that you're angry before you can transcend the anger. It's like a friend of mine is going through grief right now. And it's like, I'm like, listen, you have to accept that you're grieving. Don't, and she's like, I know I got a lot, I should be staying busy. I'm like, no, you shouldn't. You should be accepting where you are. So then you can transcend it, and then you find your real power. Right? Because when you find your real power, guess what? Law of attraction works like that. Then you go, oh, well, of course I get free rent. Well, of course I get, clients. Well, of course I get it. You don't get it from like, oh my God, I really want the client. I really want the free rent. And I'm going to recreate. I'm going to really recreate myself so I'm nothing like this person that I think that I am. When the person you think you are is an illusion anyway. Take a deep breath. Lori knows this. Carol knows this and stuff. I've been doing it.
That's magical thinking, right?
That's magical thinking, Carol. That's right. The course would cost, and that's further down in the course. Because Carol's been, that's okay. Carol's been working on it, and so is Lori. Is that how we view law of attraction? Or not how I view it, but how people see law of attraction is called magical thinking. And magical thinking is, I need something other than what I already have because it's going to make me fulfilled. So, and I'm going to get it like that. That's magical thinking. When you know who you really are, and when you really get it, you're like, of course I got the Porsche. Of course people are coming to me. Of course. It just happens. It's just normal. It's just normal, right?
It may not be on your timeline, but it'll happen.
Very good, Carol.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, your timeline or the form.
Right.
Yeah. But it will happen because you've said, I don't need to recreate myself. I just need to be. This is where, in the woo-hoo-y metaphysically new age world, they go, be authentic, be authentic, be authentic. If you're trying to be authentic, then you're inauthentic. So just stop it. Just be yourself. And that part of you that can't ever be recreated because it was created what? Perfect. That part starts to shine. And that's when all the stuff starts to fall away. Good. Okay, take a deep breath. Any comments or observations about those 4 steps? Okay.
Pretty powerful, yeah.
It's really helpful to me at this time. Thank you.
Good. Can you apply it to your life, everybody?
Yes.
Good.
Acceptance is something I've been struggling with. So yeah.
Oh, acceptance. Yeah. Where you are is where God is. Your situation is where God is. It's not when you get through the situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not yesterday. It's right now. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, accepting what is. And Yolanda was perfect in saying that. And I just wanted to like make that little addendum is that the first thing in trying to kind of undo the thought form of the fourth one is to accept everything the way it is. Because God, grace, love is just giving you everything. It's already here. But you're like, I don't like it. I
Yeah, we're
don't
very
like it.
resistant to what is and just being okay with that situation at the moment. I noticed that in me. I'm working on that.
Yeah, we all are. I mean,
If you don't like your situation, then you could just say this need not be and just,
that's right.
yeah.
That's another one from the
I
course.
remember that from 2 years ago when I went on my trip with my family. The craziness that ensued. It was like, oh my Lord. And I'm just thinking, because we were on that section, this need not be, this need not be. Take a deep breath, shut up, don't say a word, you know, but be engaging with them as much as I could, you know.
Right.
And I just kept coming back to that. This need not be. It's not that bad. It's not
Yeah,
as bad as you.
exactly. Because the
And it
ego
was
thrives on resistance, right, Carol?
right. And so then it was like, okay, so they're arguing, whatever, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
whatever. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen
hmm
in thing, you
Yeah.
know.
What's the other one, Carol,
And
that goes along with that?
um,
I could choose.
peace, or yeah,
Yeah, I
instead of
could.
this,
Very good. I could choose peace instead of this.
right,
That gets you right back into trying to create and control and just be like, I could just choose peace instead of trying to control the situation.
right.
Yeah.
Mm.
hmm For sure. Good. All right, ladies, take a big deep breath.
Amen to that.
Amen. We'll
I
start
say that
on
every day.
paragraph 2 next week. I'm going to put a little thing Friday here. All right. Let's share what we're taking away from today. Today was good, right? Okay.
Every day with you is good, Max. I'm telling you, this is great stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Awesome.
know now you're doing Money May and this. Boy, it's like
Yeah.
it's
I
like
know.
We're
Sorry,
gonna
I forgot.
kick ass,
Yesterday, I
girl.
forgot I was out bowling with my grandson, and when the alarm went off, I wasn't home to get the code to put it into the Zoom. So I couldn't hit the class fast enough because I know you pretty much get right to the chant. But I did do my chanting at home. So
good. It's all good. All good. That's been great. Money May has been really good this year, I think. I
yeah.
feel. Good. All right. What are we taking away, or something that stands out from you of what we read or from our conversation? I'll just go first. I just, I've been working. It's so funny because we've been doing the root chakra meditations and their foundation and making things a firm foundation. And I'm just going to come back that today really, again, law of attraction. It's all about the foundational work, understanding and going back to the foundation. You know, how long I've been doing this? 38 years. I come back to this and go, oh yeah, extending, projecting, So I'm very thankful for coming back to the basics, which is really important. That's me. Let's see. Elaine, what are you taking away from today?
Well, I'm taking away that the fact that I know well, I've been learning that I guess that my ego is full of wanting to take control, and with each lesson, I'm learning more and more that that's something I have to really work on, and I think it's the root of all my demise.
Well, you don't have to do anything about it, really. You have to accept that that's what the ego is doing.
Yeah.
Because once you accept it, then you automatically are going to make a choice for something different. Right? Good, Elaine. Thank you. Lori, what about you?
You make what you believe in.
Yeah, straightforward. I love it. Good. Kimberly?
I am a child of God, and God is here with me in this moment right now. I don't need to change it. Many times I'm trying to find myself changing my situation, and that just makes me go crazy, you know?
That's right.
So it's okay. I have to be on ice today. You know?
And the more you're okay with being on ice, guess what? The usually, not always, but the more you're okay with being on ice and being like, this is the way it is, guess what? Your whole system is a much more healthy flow instead of like, oh, I shouldn't be on ice and it's not bad and I got to fix this. You'll probably, you know what? That's why your healing will be half as long.
It'll be quicker. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Carol, what are you taking away from today?
Well, I like the reminder that this is a course in mind training, and then also a solid foundation is necessary because of the confusion between fear and awe. I think as I read this 4 or 5 different times, I missed those lines somewhere,
Yeah.
you know, and that today helped to get it a lot better.
Good. Yeah, it's that revisiting. I'm telling you, right, Carol? And when you've been doing this for a while, you revisit and you're like, oh my God, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Or you're just weren't in a place that it really hit you in your life when you've read it the first time.
Right. I know the first time we read it, I did not have my book yet. I was trying to do it on the Kindle.
Oh.
And it was a pain in the butt.
That's why you have to have the book.
And then the second time I had the book, the third and the fourth time I have the book. So it makes it a lot easier.
It does.
You can underline stuff and
make notes and just listen, this is a lifelong, you have this for your whole life for sure. So thank you, Carol. Yolanda, what are you taking away from today?
Well, I was originally going to go with accepting things as they are, but I think here I'm going to that you're either making or co-creating, right? You're either making or co-creating. You're either extending or projecting.
Yeah,
I'm going to work on it.
Right, yeah. And you know the difference, right?
Right, because
so creating and what goes together? Extending. Creating and extending. And what's the other two?
Making or projecting is
right. So projecting and making, that's ego. The other two are from God, Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Good. I love it. All right, everyone take a big deep breath. Let's close our eyes. Thank you so much for all of this beautiful conversation today. Thanks so much for all of our input, our energy, and our love. And we ask that we walk into this week more aware of when we might be creating or honking.
I was going to say, New York is open.
Honking, oh, definitely. When we're creating compared to when we are making. We're more aware of when we are extending from love rather than projecting from our ego. We ask that we have that hyper awareness this week so we can really make a distinction in our lives, dear God. And we also, dear God, bring up anyone and anyone in the world, anyone and everywhere in the world that may be going through pain or suffering or any kind of trauma. We bring them up, and we specifically also, this is personal, bring up the people of Hong Kong right now because there's a lot of horrible dissent and craziness there, and we bring them up knowing that they will get through what's going on for them. And dear God, please be a light shining on anyone in the world, ourselves or our family included, that may be lost so that they can see the light and see the way. And we take a big deep breath. And together we say thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
And so it
So
is.
it is.
Amen.
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 All right, friends.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyone want to say anything or ask anything before we go?
Yeah, I hope you feel better, Kimberly, and it was good to see you. And also, Laurie, glad you were back.
Yay.
And
you.
everybody
so
else
much.
that
I
made it.
know. It's so good. So good. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Just by the
Happy
way,
Memorial Day.
oh, happy Memorial Day. That's right. And if you haven't listened to, now we have 7 podcasts, Polly and I, the Positive Principle podcast. You can do some binging and tell your friends if you like it. You can
Are you doing that live or are you recording ahead of time?
We're recording. We record it. So,
Oh, okay.
so yeah.
Because I remember, I think it was last year you did it live.
Yeah, we did a live, on Blog Talk, but we're doing a totally different kind of situation. So,
Okay.
so they're different. Pretty much Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. New ones. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. So hopefully they'll help somebody. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Everyone say I love you.
I love you.
Great,
Bye.
Okay.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.